Hey, welcome to Mullen Stock. If you are new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to the channel and turn on post notifications by hitting the bell so you never miss any of our uploads. And also remember that this is not a financial advice video. Today, I want to give you an overview of what happened with Mullen, including some data points and key information. Mullen practically closed at 8.48% in the red zone, directly through the gate. For Mullen, it was a bad day. Although the market saw a significant decline, Mullen hit a new 52-week low, at around $24.02. There was a significant volume of 40.97 million shares traded, compared to the average of 28 million. Furthermore, it closed below the $0.25 support level. Intraday, it didn't want to go there at all. Once again, as I've mentioned before, there's no benefit to applying any technical analysis to Mullen. It may sound harsh, but the truth is, no one is buying. And finally, there might be some retail investors who say, I'm buying every day, which is fine if that's how you feel. But it takes big money to lift a company like this. When it comes to why they would invest, they need sources of revenue, and so far, Mullen has done very little to justify that. As of now, Mullen investors know they've sold 10 M3, but they haven't delivered them yet because Randy Marion has a problem with dealer's license, which is supposed to be sorted out next week, but still we haven't heard anything about looking at other orders. I'm sure that there was a picture circulating earlier this week that shows something new happening in Mullen parking lot. Are they producing vehicles? Are they having issues with the M3? Is their supply running low? We need answers to these questions, and big money won't buy in until they see some changes. I've said before that upper management doesn't believe in Mullen themselves because most of them have refused to invest their own money, except for one person. I can't recall if it's Jonathan New, possibly the CEO, or I might be mistaken about his exact position. But without reason, he holds 36 shares in Mullen stock. You could spend that money at McDonald's, given the amount he's put into Mullen. And if I remember correctly, institutions are watching. Once again, there are many different things happening in various aspects right now. But Mullen needs to consider how they are perceived from a third-party standard and from an investor's perspective. So once again, this is my critique for today. But let's move forward. Last night, Chacha posted something, saying that the 2-minute expansion permit file had been approved. Someone had hinted at an expansion in August, and even John, the CEO, mentioned it. So I believe there was optimism because people understood that it was for operational needs. The permits that were posted seemed to be for this purpose. Therefore, plans are being made for a new 20,000 square foot covered concrete slab addition and a 360 square feet concrete pavement at the Mullen Automotive facility. Again, I think that's okay. It seems like it will be completed by May 2024, which is fine. But I'm looking at it from an investor's perspective. How much will all of this cost? The company is speeding up production, but it doesn't make much sense to add more things or do something else right now. I think they should bring in revenue sources first, and then maybe it would make sense to consider such things. And again, how much will all of this cost? Because they are running out of money, as I pointed out before. But I estimate that Mullen might have around $150 to $160 million. This is after the buyback, and they may have spent it on their Q4 expenses. Again, they don't have that much money. Moreover, they previously stated that they had enough money until June 2024, which I'm not entirely in agreement with. I think it will mostly be in the latter part of Q1. And if that's the case, what are they doing? Are they just building a big parking lot, or are they generating vehicles? Many questions remain. Unfortunately, this is one reason the stock price is dropping significantly, often more than other stocks because, as I mentioned in my pre-market video, even Faraday Future, which I compared to them, only saw a 0.85% drop in their stock price. That's because their management is genuinely taking the necessary steps to care for their business. So you see what you see. And on a side note, I know many people are concerned about the NASDAQ extension. Based on the tweet that was posted, which was close to the expiration date, David believes an extension has been granted. Since there has been no notice of delisting, they are now immediately filing an 8K stating that they are actively considering the listing, and a company I mentioned before had received a no from the NASDAQ hearing and immediately filed an 8K, which led to their delisting. There hasn't been any negative news about this, so it might be a positive sign. As I said, I think many people are on the edge of their seats, waiting to hear about the NASDAQ extension. But for a clear answer, that should come next week. It's just my personal opinion when it comes to this. And I want to quickly apologize for something, especially for those who were saying that $3 will come next week. I think they were talking about significant money coming from Beijing or China, and now it seems a bit unrealistic. Let the company get the official NASDAQ extension approval, then let's see what happens. To discuss today's data points, $24,000 worth of calls were purchased compared to 49,000 inputs. According to this information, it appears to be somewhat more bearish compared to the rest of the week. You can see that for the calls with an expiration date of October 20th. Everyone had let their calls expire. 16,000 calls at $0.50, 13,000 calls at $1, and 8,000 calls at $1.50, according to today's volume, had all expired. For next week, around 2,000 calls at a 50-cent strike price were purchased, perhaps due to the NASDAQ extension. Because when that is announced, it might cause a pop-up, as often happens with other similar companies. But it depends on whether it's justified and other factors. So again, it will all play out in the coming weeks. As of the end of this Friday, there is approximately 8,000 open interest at the 50-cent strike price and 3,000 at $1, with a bid at $1.50. So they are not as optimistic for the coming week as they were this week. Let's quickly talk about what the shorts have been up to, and when you want to know about shorts, the short score is 75. Utilization is 81.54, and shorts has increased 1.21 million shares lately, with 20.96% of those being shorted from the free float. 36.5 million shares in total have been shorted through interactive brokers. About 400,000 shares can be shorted in short availability, and the average cost is flat compared to yesterday, at 13.36%. The shorts didn't do much today, just manipulated the stock. Then it seems like they were returning almost 1 million shares as the market opened. As you can see, they doubled down right when the market opened. I returned some shares short yesterday, as they often do, so they could hammer the stock during the trading day. So again, this was not a chain of events that turned out well. I always preferred to remain cautiously optimistic, but some things with Mullen, such as their production, don't sit right with me. They started producing vehicles on August 21st, 2023, but I haven't seen any substantial production pictures or price ratio yet. So in my opinion, this is a cause for concern. Share your thoughts. If you bought or sold Mullen today, what have you done with Mullen? Or are you just holding? And what is your perspective on Mullen? Guys, that's all we have for you today. What is your opinion about Mullen stock? Get involved and let us know in the comments down below. Thank you for watching.